All right, well, as I said, I'm 51 years in ministry. Started by being asked to take over the youth group, the CYO we used to call it, at St. John of the Cross back in the fall of 1974. And that's really where I started. And for the most part, I was doing business and ministry at the same time. And in '09, I had a heart attack, a real bad one, and my family said to me, Mark, you can't keep doing both, you have to pick one or the other. And so we thought about it as a family, we prayed about it, we decided to focus on ministry. Now that was a leap of faith because I was paying all the bills through my advertising agency. And I never charged anything for ministry for the first, from 1974 through 2009. And everything I did in ministry, I did gratis, or because I really had a problem with this mindset of God and money. And so I tried to not charge. But a friend of mine, Brother Ed, said, Mark, you have to charge. First of all, you need it now because you're not working. And secondly, people in ministry deserve some recompense if it's what all they're doing, especially. And so then in about '09, I started to charge. But in '09, it was the beginning of my health issues. I had a heart attack, I said, in '09, then I had a couple more. In '15, I started a series of strokes. And in '16, I had one that was so bad, a stroke, that I was left paralyzed. My whole left side was paralyzed and I couldn't talk. And I had to reteach myself to walk and to talk again. And which I did. You know what I did? I went to Hawaii. I have a cousin that lives on Kauai. And I said, I need to recover, and I hear that's a healing island. And he said, come on over. So I spent 3 months living there, and every day, at least 2-3 times a day, I went to the ocean, and I went out beyond where I could touch. And I kept telling my brain, you better figure out how to get this left side working or I'm gonna drown out here. And eventually, my left side started working again. I started teaching myself to talk again, and got back into doing the things I did. A big part of my ministry is performing. In 1982, I started developing these characters, biblical characters, where I do live performances of different apostles. I do St. Peter, I do Judas Iscariot, I do Doubting Thomas, St. Joseph, St. Paul, St. Luke, and then the most recent one, I say recent, it's been 10 years now, is Francis of Assisi. And so I've performed all of them around the world, and I've been doing it ever since. And it's been tough getting back into it, because when you have strokes, those of you that know about strokes, it affects your memory as well. And then I think if that wasn't enough of a challenge for me, those strokes and those heart attacks, in 2020, October of 2020, I was in a rollover car accident where somebody cut me off, and I went down the side of the cliff and the car rolled over, broke my neck. Every vertebrae in my neck, all 7 of them are broken, and so my whole neck is metal now. So if you see me twitching, it's because the muscles are trying to figure themselves out. And they had to almost amputate my hands. They rebuilt my hand, cut some pieces off of it. And I've had people say to me, Mark, you think something the world's trying to tell you, that's, get out of ministry, slow down, don't do this anymore. Well, I'm a person who's read the Bible quite a few times, probably not as many as you, but I've read it a lot. I can't find anywhere in there where it tells you to quit. Honestly, we talk about what ministry is. I don't know where it says stop. Stop being a minister, stop being a disciple, stop being a person who talks about God. If we truly love God, if we truly love Christ, how can you stop talking about Him? How can you stop sharing? How can you stop using gifts that you have? Just because they're put on hold for a little while, that doesn't mean you're supposed to not figure out how to use it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.